Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Card Advantage podcast. This is episode 42. We are recording on January 13th at 8 p.m. Definitely a little late in this week, so apologize for dropping it late, but we're going to get it out the door literally right after we're done recording. As always, I am joined by my co-pilot, Mr. Bunk. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, man? Loving this bunk-friendly recording time.
Yes, bunk-friendly recording time. Not past your bedtime. We'll hopefully
Not
get you
yet.
fresh as a daisy this week.
There we go.
All right. So we'll start out with a couple of bits of sports card business, Sports Card Advantage podcast business. As always, if you have questions you want answered on the show, send us an email to info@sportscardadvantage.com. Follow us on social media, SportsCardADVTG on Twitter and Instagram. Happy to have you guys aboard.
Well, keep talking, sir. I lost my mic, but I'll be back.
We apparently have some technical difficulties. For those of you who are listening, you may want to catch the YouTube version of this as Bob Vila Bunk over here is trying to do some.
There's nothing to see.
Do some repairs.
This is definitely falling down while we're recording.
Yeah, well,
just keep talking.
Why don't you figure that out over there? All right, and a couple of other things. Been teasing the website for quite some time. We are actually really close to finally having this done. Going to be a mix of information, content, and tools, stuff that Bunk and I have been working on off and on for a while now. It is finally coming together. I think we are definitely by the end of the month, it'll be ready to go. When we do launch it, we have two big announcements that we are going to be announcing with it. So stay tuned. Should be a lot of fun when we finally drop this. Are you ready to go, sir? You want to give me a little mic check before we move on?
Yeah, I think I'm okay. How are my levels?
Your levels are all right. You got a little bit of an echo, but we'll power through here.
Echo?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. You may have turned a knob or hit a button when you were fixing things.
Well, I got new headphones in. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Is it? Because I might actually hit the echo thing.
Oh, that's good. Hopefully you turned off the echo thing.
Yeah, it's all the way down.
All right, so here we go. We got drama that we're talking about this week. There's two stories. One of them actually happened today. So the big story is the whole Logan Paul Pokemon sealed case story. To give everybody a background who's not familiar, this originated months ago with Card Kahuna and Mealy Pops. Those are their Instagram names. I don't know what their real names are. They supposedly found whatever, a case of sealed first edition Pokemon, which it's believed to be the only one in existence. They got together. There was a video of them selling it to Shine. Shine is a massive, wealthy card collector. You should have known that there was something wrong from the start. They laid on the sales pitch like a used car lot to Shine and really sold him on this whole thing and why it's a good investment. He bought it from them for $2.7 million. He then turned around and flipped that to Logan Paul for $3.5 million. And then as soon as Logan posted it on social media, the floodgates opened on people basically saying everything looks suspicious. And then to make matters worse, you had a baseball card outfit that specializes in baseball cards, are the ones who authenticated the case. And then today it was revealed that the case was fake. They got together with the baseball card collector. What is it called? I gotta look it up. BBCE or something.
Who got together with them?
Hold on, I just want to look this name up so I know what it is. Where is it? There we go. Baseball Card Exchange, BBCE.
Oh yeah. They're the ones who authenticated the case.
Yeah, they're the ones who authenticated the case. They admittedly
Whoop.
have next to no experience with Pokemon. So Shine, Logan Paul, and Baseball Card Exchange got together and they were going to open the case. And Logan obviously filmed it. The video came out today and it revealed that the boxes were full of packs of G.I. Joe cards. So that obviously is incredibly bad for the hobby. What are your thoughts here as far as older sealed cases and their value and does this cast doubt on that?
Yeah, because now if one person thought of it, they're not the only ones that have done it so far. And then how many thousands, tens of thousands of people have now seen this? Not all of them are good people, and they're going to attempt to do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking 1999, and if you go back that far, you have some cases of 2000 football with Brady and 2003 with LeBron that are probably easily seven figures as far
Yeah.
as their value is concerned. Same as this. Do you think that this hurts the value
Hurts the value of what?
of those cases?
Old cases.
Yeah, old cases.
I mean, are you telling me a Pokemon expert? I mean, it sounds like people looking knew that was fake before they even opened it.
Yeah, I mean that's
So-
why they opened it, because there were multiple people that cited, the tape was wrong, or that something looked weird, or whatever it was, and that's
All right, so Baseball Card Exchange was in a place they shouldn't have been, got burned. I mean, I have to feel confident if people who are Pokemon experts knew that was fake just by looking at it from far away, that we can authenticate pretty well other cases.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely true. But I guess it definitely is a lesson. I mean, I would have to imagine 99.9% of the people listening to this aren't rocking seven figures that they're going to be dropping on cases, but it's a bigger lesson as far as doing your homework and making sure things are legit before you buy them. There's a bunch of posts that have gone around as far as some of the fake eBay auctions that are up, and some various hacking schemes that are going on right now on Instagram and Discord. So definitely people in the hobby are targets right now between shops and fake stuff. So it definitely means you gotta take
It just
precautions.
needs to be on your radar.
Yeah,
It just needs to be on your radar. Yeah, like you said, you and I aren't going to go and buy a seven-figure case, but
I
certainly
wish.
with this kind of news, I'm going to have that in the back of my head.
Yeah, I mean
I
it's
don't want. I mean, I love GI Joe, but not
Yeah.
for $7 million or whatever it was, $3.5 million.
the all-American hero. Yeah, for those of you that haven't seen the video, sorry for spoiling it for you, but if you go to Logan Paul's YouTube and watch the video, it is a very entertaining 7 minutes that they put together for this whole extravaganza. But I mean, him and Shine are both multi-millionaires, and actually Shine made Logan whole as far as the 3.5 million, and I believe Mealy Pops made Shine whole as far as his take, like as far as whatever split he had with Card Kahuna. As of now, from what I have seen on social media, Card Kahuna is quiet, so not sure where all this is gonna land. But
As long as it wasn't his GI Joe collection, we're all right.
well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see where fault lies. Does fault lie with Baseball Card Exchange because they authenticated it? Should they be responsible?
They've got to take some. I mean, obviously they were brought in as a third party to help this transaction, and it didn't come through.
Yeah,
So I mean, somebody's liable.
yeah.
I'd like to know who packed the box with GI Joe packs. Personally, that's where we should be focusing our attention.
Well, I would imagine whoever Card Kahuna bought this from, I would think is who packed it with GI Joe cards.
I mean, that's all I care. I want to know where it came from. Get those people.
Yeah, well, I have a feeling you're not going to be able to find those people.
No, probably not.
I'm pretty sure I think they sold it to Kahuna and Mealy for 800,000, and then they turned around and flipped it for 2.7, and then they turned around and flipped it for 3.5, and this all happened
How long ago was that first sale though?
not within the last year. Like
Okay.
this wasn't like years ago. This was recent.
Wow.
So
Well, maybe it'll be a Netflix documentary one of these days. How they pulled off GI Joe back.
we already got Ken Golden coming up on Netflix pretty soon here, so I don't know how much more Netflix is gonna buy in. I don't know what the fuck was
I'm up.
that.
I went to bed when you mentioned Ken Golden on Netflix.
I'll be watching. I don't mind. I don't mind Ken. Ken gets a little booze in him, and he's actually fairly entertaining. I don't know if you ever watched any of his Instagram lives. He's not
Nah,
bad.
I ain't got time for any of that. But I'll check him out. To be fair, I'll check.
He's not bad. Like, I don't know. He seems like a decent dude. Sometimes he forgets. Like, the biggest beef that I have with Ken is sometimes he forgets that most of us, not most of us, like 99.9% of us are not in the same league as him. So it's like, when he posts the pictures of his porch and there's 42 cases of cards on the porch, is like, oh, got another UPS delivery. It's like, hey, asshole, like all of us want
no
that.
one cares.
Yeah. No one, it's like you kind of like rubbing it in people's face as far as how big
Yeah,
your.
you gotta grab likes, man.
Nah,
Grab likes.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's more
Yeah, it
just
is. It's exactly what it is.
yeah, he's stroking his own ego. But
That too. That's the same thing. Heart, stroking ego, all the same thing.
yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, second piece of drama. It literally happened. I don't know, like 4 hours ago. There is I guess they're a fairly large breaking outfit, Backyard Breaks. They have massive social media followings on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch. They're a definitely younger generation breaker. Your old school get off my lawn breakers like Bunk are not breaking with these guys. They're, fraternity brother wearing no shirt and breaking cards in their underwear type dudes.
Yeah, let's just say before I potentially make fun of them in any capacity, they're obviously doing something right. They're probably crushing it. They've got lots of followers. They're doing a great job in some respect. Somebody would think. Go ahead.
That was Bunk's attempt at a shot of trying to avoid backlash and or cancel culture
you
before
can
it
backlash
happens.
me all you want. What do I care? For having an opinion, how America of you to cancel me out for an opinion.
All right. We said episode 1, guy. No politics.
There's no politics.
All right, here we go. So the situation was they ran through their hours of breaking. They opened a bunch of product, and then they got down to the end and said, "Okay, we're going to give away this next box to one of our followers on Twitch because they were live on Twitch at the time." So they said, "Okay, whatever was pulled out of this, we're going to select one person and give it away to them." And then all of a sudden,
whoops,
they pulled the Trevor Lawrence gold kaboom. And then it changed. And then they went, okay, we're not going to now give this away to anybody. We're going to take $20,000 cash and give it away to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Because why only provide riches to one person when we can do so much good for the Boys and Girls Club? And they got absolutely raked on social media.
That thread is fantastic. So if nothing else from listening to us today, just go find the Twitter thread and I'm sure it's on Instagram too, and just read all the comments.
Yes.
Because they got thoroughly destroyed.
Yeah. And so I guess you can fall on two sides of the fence here. Give me your 2 cents as far as why you obviously feel that this was not the right way to have approached this situation.
Because they let money get in the way of their decision. Like, they had made a conscious decision to give something away, regardless of what was pulled, and then they saw something massive in front of them and changed their tune. because in somehow, some way, they were trying, instead of just doing the nice thing and giving it away, they still had to make it benefit them more than it was already going to benefit them from just giving it away and doing something nice. They saw the dollar signs and said, "We can turn this into something so much bigger for ourselves, and we're going to do it."
Yeah.
That
And
that's where I have a problem with it. I mean, I get it. You see something, and all of a sudden, you look, got a hoopty in front of you, and all of a sudden a Porsche drives by. Well, things are going to change.
did you just say hoopty?
Hoopty.
Okay, just checking. Thought I heard that. Yeah, I mean, because on the surface you're like, oh, that's so nice. They gave away to the money to the boys in the girls club, but it just oozes shadiness, and and people. Let me tell you from personal experience. It's a story that we've never told on this podcast because we agreed at the time that we weren't going to tell it because we didn't want to give this person any more fuel. But this happened months ago, and so we made a decision, when we were doing giveaways every week. And then one week we decided to give something away to somebody who sent us a nice email instead of doing a random drawing. And I got an email from somebody else who listens to this show that was paragraphs long of cursing at me and calling us names and saying it was unfair and all this shit. And it was like literally we were giving away $40 to $50 cards. And this person decided that he was just going to word vomit an email to us and say that it was so unfair and he loved our podcast until then and we're shady and now I'm not listening to anymore. So we decided at the time we weren't going to bring it up because I was pissed. Like I emailed this dude back and let him have it because it's like, we have no sponsors. We're giving this stuff away out of our own pocket, and it's just like,
And you gave it away.
and we gave it
It's
away
not like you
to
changed what you were
somebody.
given.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody that that was deserving of it because he was new to the hobby and whatever else. So that was on such a small scale, and there was pissed off people. And then this is a much bigger scale because that Trevor Lawrence Kaboom Gold could go for what, 30 to
knows?
30 to 50 grand maybe.
I'm assuming they had an idea that it was going for more than 20,
Yeah. So
whatever that's worth.
it just goes to show you that regardless of whether or not you're giving anything away or you're trying to do the right thing or whether or not these guys are shady or not shady, it's a matter of if you say that you're going to do something, then you have to do it. Because if you skew off in any direction away from what you say you're going to do, prepare to deal with the backlash.
Yeah, and that's what I meant by saying earlier. They have this huge following already. I don't know how many people are just going to stop following because of it. Sure, there'll be a few, but it would have been so much better PR if they actually pulled that huge card and still just gave it away.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
how cool would that have been? That they'd be the talk for a while if they gave away that kind of card because they said they would.
Yeah, I mean, you guys they obviously had the money, so it's just like give the card away and like, hey, we were gonna give this card away to charity, but we want to stick to our word, and then we're now gonna make a donation in anyway.
Could have easily been a box that was included in a break, and they were sending it to a break spot anyway. Like,
Yeah,
they saw it and they flipped out.
yeah, and then they definitely
Probably literally shaking.
and then they folded to social media pressure after they got raked on Twitter, and then said
They
that
got
they were going to give
destroyed.
the card away again. So
Yep, tonight. Somebody
yeah,
got it tonight,
yeah.
apparently. So we'll wait to see if it gets posted.
Yep. So the story continues. But anyway,
Yeah, hobby drama. It's just fun. It doesn't affect my day to day whatsoever. I could care less. I don't let it bother me.
no,
It's funny stuff. To me, it's all funny.
yeah.
I steer clear of half those kind of clowns anyway.
Yeah.
But it's just background noise. It's fun to watch.
I mean, in sports card world, there's only so much stuff to talk about on a week-to-week basis. So, we'll mix in a little fun and games
100%.
from time to time and, mix up some content here. But back to some of our regularly scheduled programming. We have NFL playoffs starting in 3 days, 2 days. They start Saturday.
They start. Yeah, it should be Saturday.
So my question to you is normally when we go into playoffs in any sport, there's usually some sort of pump in the hobby. Cards get a nice bump. Have people missed the window to buy in if they want to try and, capitalize on this pump going into, playoffs and Super Bowl.
I think if you're buying online, it's too late. I think if you're at a show and can catch a deal, say you're gonna hit a show this weekend for somebody you think you might win a round or two of the playoffs, then I think you might be okay. Especially if you did better than comps at the show. But I don't think at this point you're buying online, waiting for shipping, waiting for it to come in, and flipping it. You're certainly not grading much of anything except for maybe your super people who you think are in the Super Bowl, right? I mean, what
Yeah.
am I going to get back in time to try to flip? So I would say at this point you're just a spectator because no matter what happens, if I'm following Mahomes or I'm following Brady and they're making their way to the Super Bowl, every day that goes by, those prices are just going to inch up. And then a month after the Super Bowl ends, they're going to come right back.
Yeah, I mean, usually within a week after the Super Bowl, people have made their purchases, and then after that, stuff that comes up after, 2 to 3 weeks after, it's on its way back down for the teams that are in the Super Bowl. But for the teams that lose first, second round of the playoffs, that stuff starts to creep down before we even get to the Super Bowl because people are focusing on the teams that are still left and the teams that are in the Super Bowl. So I think you're in a bit of a Russian roulette here, especially like guys like Burrow, for example. Bengals are good, but are they a lock to win in the first round of the playoffs?
Yeah, no, they could just as
No.
easily be gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, so, we'll take a look at some stuff right now as far as, like we'll look at Burrow and then, the main standout has been Rodgers.
Killing it, guy.
I mean, Rodgers is setting like all-time highs. Even Burrow, like Burrow right now, look at a couple of his mainstay cards, his Prism Silver PSA 10, you know, set new all-time highs at 3,500, 3,400 the last two sales. Those are literally all-time highs for these cards. PSA 9 on the silvers also haven't set all-time highs, but they're pretty damn close. All-time highs on that card 750 when it first opened or came out. Hit 566 this week.
And those cards were struggling for a while.
Yeah, I mean this card, the silver got all the way down to 221 as of the day after Christmas. And then he had those two monster games and they're going into the playoffs and pretty much 2.5x going into the playoffs. But you're playing Russian roulette right now because if the Bengals lose, it's not to say that people don't have faith that he's a good quarterback. It's just that people, start to liquidate some of their stuff so that they are, moving on to basketball or baseball. Baseball season is coming.
Yeah, I mean, like anything, why are you buying at any particular time? Right now, you're not buying to flip quick
If you're,
on
yeah,
anybody in the playoff.
so people, you either buy to collect or you buy to flip. And right now is not a good time to do either one because if you're buying to collect, you're buying at prices that are either all-time highs or potentially close to all-time highs. And if you're buying you don't want to do that. Wait until the offseason. And if you're buying to flip, you're in the same situation. If Burrow goes to the Super Bowl, yeah, you have room. You have weeks of room to do that. But if they lose in the first round, you're going to be left, holding the bag. You're going to be left, losing 20%.
Right. And if you can't afford to hold it for 8 to 12 months, then you're in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, we look at Rodgers. Rodgers right now, his Rodgers market is ridiculously on fire right now, and I wouldn't touch any of his stuff. Rodgers, his 2005 tops, just regular tops, closed at 1,200 on the 11th. Pop on this card is 2,251. The all-time highs on this card were 1,387. So you are literally bumped up right against all-time highs. I think if you haven't gotten in, you're late to the party. This card especially, pops. It's a paper card. Pops are high, and as soon as the playoffs are over, this thing is easily going to settle back down into the range that it was at before, at like $800 or $900. Even if he wins a Super Bowl, you're easily going to look at a 20 or 30% drop off.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be a little bit more comfortable on a Brady or Rogers purchase just because the careers are established and they're slam dunk Hall of Famers. So yeah, I'm paying a little bit of an upcharge right now because of the time of the year, but I
Yeah, but
wouldn't be
look,
as mad
it,
at
it,
buying a
it
Rogers
yeah, but
compared
it's
to a
it,
Burrow.
but it's not like it's a pop, 52, and then you're never gonna see it again, dude. There's 2,200 of them out there.
Oh, no doubt, I can get it anytime.
Yeah, I mean,
But the thrill of buying a card, man. Some people want to buy a card.
yeah, I mean, dude,
When you're inspired by a playoff win and
I
you buy a card.
I'm
I
the
do it all the
same.
time. Every World Series Yankees win, I was buying crap I shouldn't have.
Yeah, I'm the same junkie. I want to buy stuff, but usually I want to buy stuff so I can sell it for more money, and I don't want to buy it just to let it sit in a drawer. But that's just me.
Let me show you
Um,
my Adam Dunn collection, sir.
yeah, that didn't sound creepy at all. Um, hey, little boy, come into the basement and let me show you my Adam Dunn collection. Anyway, so Brady's interesting. Some of his stuff is a little bit more up and down. He got a surge going into like November, and then his stuff's fallen off a bit since November, and it's settling. I mean, for Brady, this is his like 22nd playoff appearance or whatever it is, and I if he wins another Super Bowl and an MVP, obviously his stuff's going to bump again. Other than that, I think it's like there's so much expectation of him that it's he falls short if he doesn't win another Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's almost like, yeah, he's so great, but if he loses, you're gonna be left with that bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, it's like, well, why didn't he win again? you know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But it'll affect the card prices. That stuff's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, most of his bigger, like, if his massive cards that are low pop, I mean, that stuff's obviously continuing to go up, but the stuff that's around that people can actually get their hands on is
Most of the ugly
yeah,
ones.
his 2000 Bowmans and Bowman Chromes and those things. All those pops are over 1,000. It's available if you want it. So will it get a small bump going in? Sure. Um, but nothing crazy. If you want to take a look at non-quarterbacks, or maybe a couple guys you can squeeze out a little bit on, but once again, same deal. Like, unless you're going to be able to buy it in person, get it in your hands now, and flip it. If you're buying as a collector because you're like, hey, I really love Derrick Henry or CeeDee Lamb or some of these other non-QBs, Jamar Chase market obviously also going crazy because he should win Rookie of the Year. If you're buying to flip this stuff, you're flirting. You're definitely playing Russian roulette, and you could wind up on the wrong side. And if you're fans of these guys and you want to put them in your PC, just wait until March.
Jamar Chase could win Rookie of the Year. The Bengals could win a playoff game or two, and the middle of next year, towards the end of the year, we're going to be talking about, man, look at Jamar Chase cards and fraction of what they were the year before.
Yeah.
No matter how good a season he has, that's just the way it works. If you're
Yep.
not a quarterback and it's not your rookie year, you're not worth what you were the year before.
Yeah, 100%. And even if you are a quarterback, I mean, your market still could collapse all through March, April, and May.
What are
So
you drinking there, guy?
I'm drinking a little water, guy.
Coconut water, probably.
It is not coconut water, but thank you. Yeah. So football, there's stuff out there, and it's good to see that we didn't start to we didn't continue to see things go down. There's definitely spikes going on, especially with certain players as we go into the playoffs, and it's great to see that that there's a rebound in the market, and we didn't just see things continue to tumble. So happy to see that, but there are still guys whose markets haven't rebounded, and there may be opportunities. Dak Prescott, for example, Cowboys massive following. I mean, his stuff since October has fallen from 990 on his Prism Silver PSA 10, $995, to 540 last sale. So if the Cowboys win a couple playoff games, I mean, you could definitely see that as an opportunity. His PSA 9 Prism Silver, $197. as recently as November was up close to 400. So, there are opportunities out there, but you are, as I said, the timing on
But
it.
you're gambling.
Yeah,
I mean,
100.
we're always gambling, but now I'm
Yeah,
gambling on another outcome I have no control over.
yeah. I mean, so guys that are not established with Super Bowls, or where you want, if you want to gamble, that's where you're gambling. Your Dak Prescott's, your Kyler Murray's, your Matt Stafford. I mean, the Kyler Murray market has been absolutely destroyed, like destroyed, and his Prism PSA 10 silver went from $3,025 to last sale 1,133. I mean, destroyed. So there's stuff out there that if these guys win some games, people are going to buy up cards, but you are 100% flipping a coin, and you are dependent on them winning.
Well, and to your Murray point, if you do your homework hard enough and you're hell bent on buying something, well, who's selling the worst right now that could get the biggest bump?
Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals win a couple games in the playoffs. People, if you're looking to buy anybody on the Cardinals, that's the only one. I
D
mean,
Hop walking yet?
maybe. I mean, we have hopefully, especially considering we have a D Hop card and rookie camo in for
Yeah,
grading. I would love for him to be
I
walking
forgot
right now.
about that.
Yeah.
We have so much stuff out, I can't keep track anymore.
Yep. Um, and then the last one, Stafford. Stafford's an interesting one. His Chrome, Topps Chrome refractor, selling for 2,600 back in November, got as low as 1150. Um, so Rams win a couple games. You're definitely going to see some pumps on Stafford.
Yeah, because he's been so good for so long and stuck on the line.
Yeah. So, if you're looking for opportunities, those would be where I'd look. Guys whose markets are flat, if their teams win a couple games, they could see a benefit. No, nothing guaranteed though, because those markets have been, soft for the last 2 months, and there's no guarantee that a couple playoff wins are going to push it at all. But while we're talking about potential investments, I want to talk about one other thing real quick, and that is soccer. U.S. World Cup, U.S. men's national team, a couple guys on there definitely getting some buzz. U.S. men's national team playing 3 qualifying games here in a couple of weeks. If they can win all 3, I believe they are in the driver's seat basically to make the World Cup. Could potentially also finish number 1. And I think that you'll definitely start to see some American pride in soccer. Yes, there are soccer fans and people are nuts about soccer, but the level of enthusiasm about soccer will go up tremendously if the US is in the World Cup. So soccer as a whole could get a bump this year with the World Cup. It actually will get a bump this year with the World Cup, and especially if the US makes the World Cup and actually has an okay team, which we might. You have Pulisic, you have Reina, you have Pepe, all as potential buys. There's a couple of other guys whose names escape me. Yes, Weston McKennie is another one. All these guys are now playing in Europe, also playing U.S. men's national team. I mean, the Pulisic market has definitely exploded. A recent victory for us. Bought a Pulisic rookie Kaboom for $325. We actually sold it today for $2,100. So we did really, really well on that. Potentially could have held it for longer until the World Cup, but we got an offer on a buy it now that we just couldn't turn down. But there's going to be opportunities out there. These guys, if they show up and do okay in the World Cup, maybe win a game or two. I think you're going to see some tremendous U.S. pride in the hobby market, and people are going to be buying U.S. men's soccer cards.
100%. This is the first time soccer's really come forward since the little bit of the sports card boom here, well, particularly with the World Cup. And I don't follow soccer much at all, but when the World Cup's on, no matter where I am, work, wherever, I have it on TV. The U.S. is playing,
Yep. If the
and I'm not the
U.S.
only one.
if the U.S. is playing, people that don't care about soccer now care about soccer, and that's going to carry into the hobby. Soccer was
I'll watch U.S. cornhole. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, soccer was big in the hobby in 2021, but I think this year with the World Cup and the U.S. hopefully going to make the World Cup, soccer as a whole in the hobby is going to be bigger, and guys, there's going to be cards that you can get your hands on with the main stars of the U.S. team in their U.S. uniforms. That there are cards out there. So like Pulisic, for example, who's basically the big hobby star for the U.S. men's national team. He has cards in a Chelsea uniform. He also has cards in a U.S. men's national team uniform. If I am buying cards, I would be looking for cards of these guys in their U.S. men's national team uniforms.
Yes, sir.
Anything else on the investment front?
No, I think I'm good.
And do you have your Bowman's Best segment prepared for us?
Yeah, guy. What do you want to know about Bowman's Best?
All right. So, if you guys have been paying attention at all in the hobby, you've seen some crazy, crazy things going on in baseball. Bowman's Best released, what, a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to release the 31st, but part of what I'll be talking about is there were some delays in some of the distribution of the product. But the release date was supposed to be 12/31.
Okay. So, within the last few weeks, it came out.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, it came out within the last few weeks. And some of the singles prices on the resale market have been absolutely bananas, and people are like going absolutely ape shit for Bowman's Best. And so I'm seeing some of this, and you're sending me guys who have no idea that they even existed on this planet, and their cards are selling for four figures. So I said, hey, prepare us a segment for the podcast, and the response I got was easy peasy. So without further ado, here is Bunk's
I'll just interject with questions.
Bowman's Best segment here. So give us
Yeah,
a background on Bowman's Best and why this stuff is going absolutely bananas.
Well, I'm definitely, if you listen to the show, I'm biased because it's my favorite release of the year. But for starters, they always do a really nice job with a good looking product, from the base set right through the inserts. Uh, you know, Bowman's Best was big in the early '90s, and you got some huge '90 inserts people chase from those sets. They're still popular now to purchase singles of, and then they brought it back in 2015. At least from that's when I kind of started breaking. That's when I put it 2015. Yes, there's other Bowman's Best sets, but this one, why is it so big? A couple reasons. I mean, the cards look really cool, and then we talked about last week. Instead of they usually do 100 card set with Bowman's Best, but they usually break it down into 65 veterans and 35 prospects, and they're different numbered sets, and that's why they don't have prospects as rookie cards and all that drama we talked about last week. So I'm not quite sure if it's FOMO because now you have some of these top prospects, including guys that just got drafted, who in the back of your head should have no business having a rookie card on a checklist, but do now. So even though it's not on the card, like we talked about last week, it is in fact a checklisted rookie card, and I think people are trying to get their hands on a whole bunch of this stuff in the event it is the card of that player.
Okay, and you have examples of some of these guys?
Yeah, well, I mean, Wander Franco, it's considered his rookie card. You got Bobby Witt. Bobby Witt, considered his rookie card. Guys that were just drafted, the likes of Jordan Lawler, Marcelo Mayer, and Brady House. These guys that just got drafted. In your head, they're prospects.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of Marcelo Mayer, and I'm like, I don't know who the fuck that is.
He's probably the highest seller out
Yeah.
of this product.
So I'm on eBay right now looking at some completed. You had a Wander orange refractor out of 25 go for
$13.50.
Did it go for $13.50? It says $3,000 on eBay.
And best offer was $13.50.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Marcelo Mayer that also went for, four figures.
Yeah, red refractor of his just went for 1,100.
Yeah,
That's out of five.
yeah, out of five. The red lava refractor. You had a Torkelson auto go for four figures.
And Torkelson has autos in last year's Bowman's best. I'd rather have last year's Torkelson's auto, but now because it's considered a rookie card, now it's cooler apparently.
There's a Dominguez gold one of one masterpiece, which
7,500 guy.
I think it's ugly as hell, to be honest with you.
So so interestingly enough, that masterpiece insert, that is the
Yeah.
hardest insert to get. That falls 1 in 18 packs. And my gut reaction too was those things are ugly. But then when I hear they're rare, I'm like, maybe they're not so
Now
ugly.
they're
I kind
not
of
as
like them
ugly
now.
when.
Yeah.
So when you walk
So
into an art museum, the piece could be ugly, but if it's really rare, then it's less ugly.
yes,
I
that is
mean,
my sad logic. But yeah,
it,
those are
it's
the toughest pulls.
it seems like you have a bunch of big players that people are after. Witt Jr., Dominguez, Marcel Mayer, Torkelson, and all these cards are going for big money. So my question is also, now that, it's January, baseball starts 2 months. Um, you know, will you see this? The usual is product comes out super hot, sells for super big dollars, and then usually trails off.
Here's
Will
why I think here's why I think you're going to see this drop off more so than usual is I mentioned earlier there was a big delay and a lot of the people I was waiting on to break the stuff didn't get their shipment. But people were breaking boxes from their LCS or wherever they got it from online. But some of the bigger breakers and such couldn't get their product. So a lot of these singles and bigger cards were flooding. Not I can't even say flooding. They were hitting the market with way less up there than would normally be if everyone was ripping their product at the same time. So I think it created a little bit of
uh,
a weird supply and demand issue where people there was only one of them up, so everyone just kind of flocked to it. So I think even some of these inserts they're all over the place, but they really drove the first single prices up much higher than you would normally see in the first week of a release. And
and
now everyone's got their product. I think you'll start seeing it come back down. But the problem is, was that spiked so high that you're really going to get crushed if you bought at the top.
okay. And for the tens of people that watch us on YouTube, you have a background of a Bowman's Best insert set that has a background. So if you collect the whole set, it forms a picture. And it's a picture of it's weird because it's called, what is it called again?
Yeah, it's rookie craftsmanship. It falls one in every 8 packs. And when I was looking at the checklist before it came out, it was weird because it said it was only 18 cards. And I said, that's weird. They usually are nice rounder numbers, but 18 cards, fine. It's an 18 card set. And now, as it turns out, if you put these in a binder, you got 9 cards on a binder page. You got these two pretty cool outer space looking.
Yeah, so it's called Rookie Craftsmanship, but somehow there's a picture of the Earth and the Moon. I mean, it looks cool as hell. It just, the name of the set and the picture just doesn't make any sense, but it looks awesome. I think we'll throw this up on our Instagram and Twitter and show it to everybody. But have you ever seen them do something like this where the insert set has a background image that if you put it all together, it forms one bigger image?
Not that I can remember. I mean, I know, uh, Tops has done this before. I believe with Tops Heritage stuff, and they would put pictures on the back of the card. So if you got a whole bunch of I forget whether it's sequentially numbered or different versions of the same player, but it would if you put the cards together, it'd form a picture.
Okay.
Like they've done it before. This is the coolest way I've seen it done.
Yeah, it's awesome looking. I definitely never seen anything like it. So yeah, it's and Bowman's Best goes for what? If you wanted to buy a box of Bowman's Best, what
I
do they
think
sell for?
initially it was looking between. I think Tops was selling them direct for 260, if I'm not mistaken. But around here, if I went to an LCS around here, I minimum they're gonna be $300. I
And
can tell you that right now, if
is
not
it
more.
is it something that you feel is worth the rip, or is it something that if people want to get a part of it, they should just buy singles?
Um, yes and no. I mean, the cool thing about Bowman's Best is you're getting 4 autographs, and you're also there's a lot of big chasers in there. We mentioned a whole bunch of players, and they all have pretty good cards in them. But again, it really depends. When I buy a box of cards, I'm not expecting to make my money back.
Yeah.
So, for me, this is I'm probably going to complete work on this set. So for me, I'm buying a box and I'm saying, okay, it's a lot of money. I know I'll get a couple nice things in there that I can offset the cost of the box. But no, could they make this product $500 a box and it would sell because it has 4 autographs and they're set up? I think they could. I think they could sell these boxes for $500. So the fact that they're in the between the 250 to 3.25 range, I'm pretty happy with that.
Okay. And
I've
like if you're gonna try to build this insert set, I mean, are you literally just buying these singles for a couple bucks a piece, or are you literally you're opening boxes and you're hoping to build it that way?
I usually try to trade first. I
Okay.
usually try to trade at the very beginning or find an eBay lot ending in the middle of the night and there's 9 of them and someone else doesn't want 9, they want 1, so they pass on it.
Yeah.
But if I buy these individually right now, it'll cost me way more to put it together than it should. So,
Okay.
like I always say, so I build sets, inserts and stuff from all the previous years. I've been searching for 2018 Bowman's Best, 2019 Bowman's Best, while all the attention's on this guy.
Yeah. People that are just
So
dumping stuff that you can pick up and finish
yeah,
off sets.
but again, I'm in all sorts of groups and stuff. Everyone's got their Bowman's Best coming in. A lot of people just say, "Hey, I need this, this, and this. I need this, this, and this," and you'll just flop. No one's looking up card prices. No one's looking. They're just base cards. We're flipping them, getting set needs in everyone's hands, and that's the best way to build a set, so that you're not just laying out for all of it.
Well, at some point we'll do some more content on that. It won't be on the podcast because half the people will be bored out of their skulls. But at some point we'll try to free up some time for Bunk to talk about trading and groups to join if that's something that you're interested in.
Works for me.
All right. Anything else on Bowman's Best?
No, sir. They added in lava refractors this year. A couple of them. I'm not happy about that, but
They were a
they do
lot.
look cool.
They were lava. Prism did lava, didn't they? For
Yeah, I don't know.
baseball.
I just know in the right angle and the right light, it looks like there's little flames coming off of the lava parallel. So I guess that was kind of neat, but I could do without the extra parallels.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I'm almost positive Prism dropped Lava Flow in 2021
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
Prism did lava flow, right?
Yeah.
And these are like aqua lava and gold lava, and I don't know. But the cards in the background on my screen, they also have a lava version, which is out of 50. So
Oh.
if you really want to go big, you collect. It's only 18 cards, and I'm half considering it, but you go with the out of 50 set. That'd be a really neat set, and not many would have it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's when you start to get into the rarity, and that's when you start to get into value.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, we got a couple of questions in from the Peanut Gallery this week, and we'll run through those real quick. First question comes in. I am a new collector, and I know there's a lot of emphasis on collecting rookies. Is there a certain product for basketball and football that you would recommend trying to collect players?
I'm hopefully you can speak to basketball. That ain't my thing. But for football, um, if well, actually not if, but hopefully when Fanatics makes some tops chrome football again, that'll be where I'd like to be. But for right now,
Why don't
for
we talk about
football,
now versus 5 years in
yeah,
the
I
future?
know. I just love tops chrome. So you give me tops chrome football. But anyway, uh, it'd be Prism, and for me, it's Prism and Donner's Optic. Those are my favorite. Those I think are the two go-to rookie cards every year.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for stuff, I think it also, depends. If you're looking for value, either for long-term hold or flip potential, Optic and Prism, National Treasures, obviously, depending on your budget, are the ones that are going to hold the most value and retain the most value. But if you're looking for stuff that looks cool or you like the look of, there's a couple of like middle tier products that are your awesome. Mosaic for football and basketball. Origins, I also think, is a cool looking product. So if it's what you're looking for as far as the look of it, I'm a huge fan of Revolution for basketball. I think those cards are awesome. I also think they're a little bit undervalued as well, just because they're a much better looking card. So it just depends. Your Optic and Prism are your mainstays as far as popularity, but there are definitely some other products out there that look awesome and do have some value.
Yep, agreed. But if you don't want to do any homework, you want to be lazy, Prism and Donner's Optic for football.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
You can't go wrong with those two.
And then last but not least, another podcast where we're going to talk about hockey.
What?
So last question for today. I've been hearing a lot about hockey and how it's the next big thing in the hobby.
Told you that.
Is this something that you expect to continue to grow? And is it something that, I should be looking to buy cards in now?
Yeah, I have no idea. Cue the cricket thing. I have no idea.
I do have a
hockey's
button.
going
I do have
anywhere.
a button on our board that does make a cricket sound, but I'm not 100% sure which one it is. I'm gonna take a random guess here. Nope, not that one. Not that one either. Damn it! Where is it?
Listen, I love watching hockey, but I don't. I
found it.
There you go. Read the question again and just put that on loop for 10
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with hockey is there's a lot of players that nobody's ever heard of. So it's just like, I think it's similar to football, in that football QBs dominate football because they're the high scorers. They get the most attention. I think hockey are in a similar situation, except I think hockey, the market's even smaller. Because like football, guys like Joe Burrow, you followed through college and all the way into the NFL. You've been hearing Burrow's name for years, even though he's only been in the NFL for 2. Guys that are Canadian, European, et cetera, that are playing hockey, you don't hear about these guys until they really start to tear it up in the NHL. And then by then, whether or not it's too late to hop on board, it's 50-50. And even at that, there's a core group of like 5 guys in the NHL that are modern players, young guys that are getting any kind of shine. And then other than that, it's just like even the guys that are stat leaders, we talked about this a few weeks ago, even guys that are stat leaders aren't doing shit. And that's right now, that's basketball and hockey.
You can't have the 8 people collecting hockey cards all go after the same person.
8 people.
There's more than that. That was mean. That was me. I have friends of mine that'd be very upset with me right now.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the whole thing. Your Connor McDavid market, for those of you who don't know who Connor McDavid is, he is basically one of the best or the best player in the NHL. He's the most sought after. He's the Tom Brady of the NHL. I mean, he doesn't have 7 titles and whatever, but he's the most popular guy in hockey and has the most card value. But there's 4 or 5 guys after that, and some of them are like Crosby and Ovechkin who've been around for years and veterans. It's not a ton of young guys that are that they're seeing much love and much bump in the hockey market.
The ones that I did see get a huge bump, it was really short lived. Some of the young guns from the last upper deck release, they got pumped up and then gone.
Yeah, the guy in the Rangers,
Lafreniere.
There you go. Thank you. I mean, he got a pump for a bit, but I mean, in hockey also, some of these guys take 4 or 5 years to develop. So they come out as touted prospects, then they play, and then they may suck for 3 or 4 years. And then some of them are good at 18. So it's very much hit or miss. Keep your eyes open. Do your homework, look at Card Ladder, look at market movers, find opportunities, stuff that's cheap, that has low risk, guys that you think may be good or guys that are touted prospects that could, be awesome in a few years and you want to scoop it and hold it, great. Connor McDavid market, I think maybe a little bit overbought right now.
And that's the thing. Is there really quick flips in hockey?
I mean, if you got into Connor McDavid like 3 or 4 months ago, you made a good amount of cash. Yeah, I mean McDavid's PSA 10 Young Guns card was selling for 2,400 back in August and peaked at 4,100.
Wow,
So,
nice chunk.
yeah, a nice chunk of change. But I mean, PSA 9 was doing 785 back in July and hit 1635, so 2x. So yeah, I mean, but would I buy into his market now? No, I wouldn't.
Considering his off-season buys were a steal
Yeah, I
compared to
mean,
right now.
you could have bought some of his stuff back in 20, let's see, PSA 10, you could have bought 2,100 in January of 2021. So you would have 2x your money in a year. But would I buy his stuff now? No. I think I think he's on the side of overbought, and wait until you get to the playoffs, and he may see another bump, but it may cool down between now and then.
Yeah, and even if you have your pulse on hockey and know the league well, but you don't know cards of the hockey market, do the same thing. You're probably gonna do the same thing I'd end up doing, which is just I got to look at charts and past sales and what things are currently going for. Because to your point, stat leaders doesn't necessarily, you would think there'd be a direct relationship between the top five in scoring and sale prices in any given time, but not
Yeah,
true in hockey.
yeah. I mean, hockey absolutely pumped for the last few months of 2021. Ovechkin's PSA 10 August 4,100 peaked out at 8K plus, so 2x. I mean, that's a huge move. But right now you're sitting on all-time highs for these cards. I mean, this Ovechkin card 2 years ago was $500. Now it's selling for 7,500. So it's 15x. So you're sitting at the top of a market, a guy that's going to retire. I don't know how much more juice he's got left in this. Pop's almost 1,000. Have to figure that people in the last 4 to 6 months have bought and submitted for grading stuff, and pops will go up on some of this stuff. So I would be cautious with hockey. Everybody's trying to, all the breakers and all the people that are out there are like hockey, hockey, hockey. It's the next thing, and that's where everybody should focus. I'd be really cautious about hockey. There's some weird stuff going on right now in hockey and basketball. Guys that are leading the league in various stat categories, their markets are so soft. Trae Young is another example. I'm going to try to do some content on him. Trae Young is playing out of his mind, like out of his mind. He's averaging 28 and 10, assists a game, and his cards are continuously going down. And
Because of high pops?
not really. Like if you look at some of his Prism inserts, I don't know what they're called, inserts. Some of the colored Prism stuff that he has, pops on those are like less than 500, and
So why no love?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because for 6 months on Twitter, he was the only basketball player that existed on my timeline. It was just him playing himself.
Well, I mean, if you just stick to the mainstream and you stick to his Prism Silver PSA 10 selling for $950. $950.
What was the high?
The all-time high
Yeah, because it was high.
for $37.50
Yep.
back in January of 2021.
That's almost 3K off his all-time high.
Yeah.
And he's playing well.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even like it's Luka, where everybody was, obviously everybody loves Luka, but Luka's, somewhat out of shape. He's had some bad ankle problems. He sat out for a bunch. Trey and Luka, both 2018, Trey and Luka have had similar statistical success. Neither one of them has won a championship.
Titles guy.
But neither one of them has won anything. Luka's silver prism is three times the price.
Ben Trey's?
Yeah. But I mean, the market is so utterly soft. And my other question is that at some point we got to look into is do you have to be on a good team? Because the Hawks right now are 2 games out of the playoffs.
They were in the playoffs each of the last 2 years, no?
Yeah, they made the playoffs, but right now in the current standings, they're 2 games out of the playoffs.
I don't know. It sounds to me if they were 10 wins better, his cards would still be in the tank.
Yeah, I would agree. And, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like I don't understand. Like his Prism Green pops on this 678 PSA 10 $280.
Yeah, seems like a bargain.
I mean, if you think that he's gonna have a career, it's I don't know how much lower it can go. To be honest with you.
And if he's gonna have a career, it still seems like it's a nice price that even if it goes down a bit, you're gonna rebound over it.
Yeah, I mean, some of his stuff, like I said, right now he's averaging 28 points a game and 10 assists, and that's easily Hall of Fame numbers. And his market is just so soft, and I don't understand why. And
Well, we'll see
his
after we get through the All-Star break here coming up, and as the playoff picture starts unfolding, we'll have to monitor the shifts in the market here.
Yeah, as football winds down, we'll be diving more into basketball and baseball. So, I mean, obviously, Bunk will be talking about baseball. I'll be talking about basketball. And we'll try to mix in some soccer and some hockey as well. I'll keep my eyes on stuff and try to spot some charts. We have talked about some vintage hockey in the past, so we'll keep an eye on some of that as well. All right, you got anything else?
No, sir.
All right. We'll wrap up here. Once again, if you have any questions you want on the podcast, send us an email, info@sportscardadvantage.com. Follow us on social media, SportsCardADVTG on Twitter and Instagram. Once again, website coming out in the next couple of weeks. Some really awesome stuff. And we have some really awesome guests that are going to be coming up here in the next 3 to 4 weeks as well. So, stay tuned, keep listening, and share us with your friends, please. We are panhandling for some Apple Podcast reviews, so if you could help us out and drop us a review on Apple Podcasts, that's also appreciated. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you next week.